Holloway County, Jack Early is excused. Lou Jones is excused. He had to work today, couldn't get out of it. Pat Delameter is excused. Steve Hood. Here. Bonnie Lumen is excused, had meetings today at the hospital. Jack Farquhar. Here. Howard Heim. Here. Don Coy is excused. Sidney Dunham is excused. Joyce Malidi. Here. Phil Malidi, present. Tom Pasquarelli. Here. Mike Swartz. Nikki Swartz, pardon me. Trish Green. Here. Jared Gilson, I presume he's working. Right. Sidney Chase. Here. Brian Knapp. Here. Dr. Markowitz. Here. Dana Wygand is excused. Richard Kirschman. Here. Harry County, Andy Cuccinello. Here. Ed Brand. Here. Mark Zeke. Present. Dr. Leinhardt. Present. Sir, we have a quorum.
Okay. Everybody looked the minutes over from the last meeting?
Make a motion.
Okay, got a motion, now about a second.
Second. Second by
Ellinger. Opposed? Abstained? Carried.
We have a number of guests. Ed Hillenbrand and Scott Bennett from Richmondville Ambulance, welcome. Howard Youth and Deb Cuffs. Bill Beavers from Rural Metro. So nice to have you. Joe Farrell and Mary Ramo, pardon me, not from Rural Metro. Rich BD, is he here or did he leave? There he is, okay. Rich Ruther from Remo was here earlier and left, but I'll put him down as being present for the morning. Steve Anderson from LifeNet, Air Methods, or whatever. Did I leave anybody out? Oh, Jill Dunham. Beth, I'm sorry. How did I do that?
Did you notice it leaves the women out?
I know. Yeah. Speaking of that man versus woman,
Welcome one and all. Good to have you.
It's because there's only one music. Remember that.
He's going to play that card for a while now.
Are there any comments or on the correspondence? Everybody got a copy of it? It continues busy. We average between 20 and 40 emails a day at the office. Between 20 and 40. Some of them are very important, others not so much.
What are you saying, Phil?
Chairman has another report, so we'll move to the Secretary's report.
Okay. A copy of the AAREMS patient refusal form has been placed on our website in Word format in both English and Spanish. With thanks to Tony Agresta of the Amsterdam Fire Department for the Spanish translation, it's available for download in Word format on the Forms and Applications page of the website. On May the 2nd, we received a letter from Edmiston requesting that we approve their entering the EPCR program. They have notified the state. The state, Lieber sent them a letter and said, it's good with us, provided you have regional approval. So I make a motion that we approve the Edmiston agency to enter the EPCR program. Do I have a second?
Second.
Was Sid, okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed or abstaining?
Opposed or abstained? Okay, carried.
On May the 7th, we received the new SEMSCO budget template from Lisa DeLong at the Department of Health. This time, it's a little bit different. The budget template isn't due back until September 30th, and it's in spreadsheet format. I don't know if Mark was aware of that or not.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they said they were going to do it in an Excel spreadsheet.
Right.
So.
Right.
Because they were getting stuff in different formats, and they
Oh,
wanted
really?
it to all
Okay.
come in
Yeah.
the same format.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. But we have it in spreadsheet format. It looks to be ridiculously easy to fill out. I have to say that.
When's the deadline? September 30th?
September 30th. Yeah.
Okay.
I was surprised at that.
I am too, because
From
I
May
know
7th.
they wanted to get the budget stuff in early.
Yeah.
So,
There's a big swing between May 7th and September 30th, you know?
yeah, I'm a little surprised at that.
Yeah, that's what they said.
Have they ever really paid attention?
Oh, well, we still have a little bit to go here. I'm sorry. We've been advised that the SUNY Cobleskill BLS First Responder Agency has been disbanded, effective May the 1st. So SUNY Cobleskill BLS first responders are no more. On May 13th, we received word that the Susquehanna REMSCO is offering a Certified Instructor Coordinator course at the Broome County Public Safety Facility on June the 7th, 8th, and 9th. Registration is by visiting srems.com/CIC13. All that information is on our regional website on the education page. We have an enforcement action. A gentleman in Norfolk, New York. I'm not quite sure where Norfolk, New York is. I would suspect it's out toward Rochester somewhere by the zip code. But the gentleman, his certification was revoked for 1 year effective 4/25/13. The revocation was stayed and he was assessed a civil penalty of $2,000 for violation of Part 800.16C. I'm not quite sure what that is. Joe would be able to fill me in on that. I think it has something to do with non-certified personnel.
Yep.
Allowing non-certified personnel on the annual.
Joe hasn't memorized the, hey, Joe, by next month, please memorize the law.
I can't.
By next month, please memorize the law and the regs.
Part 800.
Got it.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Norfolk is up by Messina.
Huh? No, is it really? Oh, okay, okay. And that, sir, is my report. We can go right into the treasurer's report if you like. Okay. You'll notice that our balances are down a bit.
Yeah.
We sent to Lisa DeLong the quarterly contract deliverables and program deliverables. We sent them in on April the 3rd. The state has not paid us yet. I have inquired of Lisa when we might expect payment, and she said she would get back to me. She has not yet done so. However, on May the 8th, which is something I practically never received, for the final quarter of the contract year, we do a budget modification to tie up loose ends and what have you. Take cash from one pocket and put it into another and so forth. On May the 8th, we received word that our requested budget mod for the previous council contract order has been approved and was sent to the contract unit. So that may be a signal that we can expect payment in a couple of weeks. Right now, they owe us $9,886.20 for the council contract and $50,373.90 for the program contract. Stay tuned.
So, Phil?
Yeah.
Under other assets on the first page, that 11,000 and 80,000, that's what is owing
I'm sorry, other assets.
on the first page of your treasurer's report.
11,000 and 80,000 is owed to us. Yeah, for the contract years, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Right, so that's not in, that's just owed.
That's not in, that's to round out the contract year.
Right, okay.
We subtract our.
Beth was just telling me that SREMS is behind a number of payments as well from
Is
the
that
state,
right?
so
Yeah.
we're not alone again.
It is very scattershot. I can't think of a better word. I can think of better words, but not in polite society. But there's no rhyme or reason to why they withhold some payments and delay them, and why some are paid right up front. And I have no idea.
They do that with our travel too.
Do they?
Yeah, there is. It's not just personal.
Yeah. No, I don't take it personally. I've never taken it personally.
I think it has something to do with what cash flow they get, and then
Could be.
they have to parcel it out, I guess.
Probably, and they probably weren't expecting we still be around right now. There's always that.
Well, that may be too. I
Yeah.
think we won that battle for the moment.
Yeah, we did. Good for us. I distributed a printed report of the cash flow balance sheet, register report, and so forth to Lou, of course, who has an excused absence, to Howard and to Sid. And they reported.
Oh, we are. It's okay.
Okay. And the deal, according to our audit, is when one of our members of the executive committee, the regional program agency committee, same difference, when one of them is absent, at their next meeting, they review the previous quarter's financials, so that's the signatures all appear in place. Okay, that's my report, sir, so
Okay, we got a
motion.
motion. Got a motion, got a second? Second.
I'll make it second, okay.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstained? Carried.
Abstain.
Joyce and I abstain as staff members.
Carried. Regional program agency?
Regional program agency, nothing to report. Planning committee.
Training, we are all set for the instructor update on the 1st of June. We only have 16 now enrolled, which is about half of what we normally do. Where we usually run around 30 for the update, so I don't know what's going on with this. Maybe there's conflicts on that date, but anyway. At this point, we are going to be, Deb Cuffs can't do the cardiac day on November 4th, I think it is. So I'll be looking for somebody else for the afternoon program for that. And
Somebody else who has a heart?
Oh, sorry.
well, that's going to be a problem. So, and the other thing we are looking into is doing a lab instructor course sometime in the fall or in the near future, anyway. That's about it.
Transportation and standards. As of this writing, we have heard nothing further from Sharon Springs, Hancock, or Sydney relative to their earlier inquiries. On May the 13th, we received paperwork from the Racket Lake Ambulance requesting a transfer of operating authority from the fire department to a newly formed not-for-profit corporation called the Racket Lake Volunteer Rescue Squad Incorporated. The paperwork was incomplete, plus which they did not include the mandatory fee of $2,000 for the transfer of operating authority, so we had to return with a covering letter by certified mail. We had last heard from this agency relative to their transfer issue last December 27th, so I'll keep everybody fully informed if we hear back from them. But what they want to do is they're currently operating as part of the Racket Lake Fire Department. They want to transfer that over, as I said, to the new corporation that they founded, because they want to bill for their services. They do about 40 to 45 calls a year.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
A transfer of operating authority?
That, regular ones. I've already spent $10 on 2,000. There's no public hearing now. There's a lot of paperwork. There's going to be a lot of paperwork with this one. That's my report, sir. That's my report. Okay. State Council report.
Strangely enough, I do have some news.
Good.
In an email last week or so, Lee sent out, we apparently will be having a meeting sometime in late September or early October. Keep that in mind. Yeah. And the EMS Memorial Service will be next Tuesday at 11 o'clock, and I will be there representing all of you. But anyone is welcome, so. That's my report.
Okay.
Oh, and I said earlier at the REMAC meeting, the controlled substance tag that I have been chairing did complete the survey and the letter, and that is going out, Mary tells me, the end of next week sometime, to all ALS services and ALS first responder services that are not currently carrying controlled substances. So please take that back to your counties and your squads. We're really depending on a thorough and honest response to the survey. Please don't round file it. We need information that we can take back to the CMAC about this issue.
Interestingly enough, Hamilton County doesn't have any ALS agencies without controlled substances. That's kind of interesting.
That's very interesting, and there, I think it's Mountain Lakes. Has almost everybody has controlled substances. Yeah.
They're extremely rural too, just like
Yeah. So
except for the Blanchfield.
with that in mind, it's possible to do it. I think that there are maybe some other obstacles that people have to deal with. It is possible to do.
Mark, have you received any kind of feedback prior to that survey going out?
Nothing other than the Otsego County letter, which Brian has told me about, and Mary's going to send me a tag.
I thought you
all
might
of the
have
surveys
received
are,
We had received,
responses are coming.
there was some commentary as the survey was being developed from some of the stakeholders on the tag. You know, whether they felt strongly for it or against it.
Right.
But other than that, no.
Is there a reason within the survey why you limited sending it to the agencies that don't do products?
Because we wanted to, what we're trying to find out is, are they willing to do it, are they able to do it? If not, what are the obstacles to them doing it? Does the medical director want or not want them to do it? The hospital that they deal with will or will not give them or contract to get medications. Too much paperwork, don't like the liability. There's 4 or 5, 6 different reasons. So we're trying to get a handle on that so they can bring that to the CMAC and say, this is what we found out. Maybe we need to think about changing this idea. So,
I just think also like,
I
looking at it from Otsego County, we took the numbers from Oneonta and talking with Beth, what were your statistics as far as narcotics that you?
That's 7% of our calls.
7%, where Oneonta, ours is 2.4% of our calls as of the middle of April where we issued narcotics. So, I mean, we're going to take an ALS agency offline for 2.4% of the time.
you're preaching to the choir over here. But I think you're right. Yeah. I talked to some people in Edmiston. They might have to do it very infrequently over the course of the year. It's a lot of paperwork and a lot of responsibility for very many calls. So I think those are the kinds of things that we need to get to the CMAC, because in some ways they're kind of removed from those kinds of practical issues.
Regional program directors, there was no meeting, and there won't be now until the fall.
REMAC, we approved the service medical directors for Summit Ambulance, Dr. Family, Richmondville, Dr. Costa, and the City of Oneonta Fire Department, Dr. Archibald. We discussed the letter from Otsego County EMS speaking to the proposal to make controlled substances provisions synonymous with all ALS. They were in opposition to that. Wrote to the council, and it was requested that the council forward that to the Department of Health for their forwarding, I would think, to the council, to the state council. Right. SACO Ambulance Service requested a locked ALS equipment and drug box to be available for ALS use when they interface with ALS providers in their BLS rig. And that was approved, provided it's maintained by the ALS provider agency. Milford has applied and will comply with the demonstration project for CPAP use at the BLS level, which is a statewide demonstration project. And Dr. Jones has agreed to support their application to participate. We discussed the new level of EMT, advanced EMT in the state of New York, and the need for protocols to address that new reality, which may have an interesting interface. If that is ALS, how does that interface with controlled substances? That's good questions.
They said, the motion specifically said agencies at critical care level or higher.
That's right.
So it doesn't apply to that level.
All right.
At the moment.
Well,
That's a question.
the reason for that is if you read the fentanyl policy, and actually controlled substances are limited to CCs and paramedics. That's the reason for it. So unless they change the controlled substance law, it will not affect AEMTs.
And I think that's why they didn't just say advanced level agencies. They said that operated the CC level or above.
And we had an executive session to discuss a few issues. That's it.
Calendar reports. Hamilton County.
Hamilton? Is that what you said? much, just that Speculator Ambulance is going to do something, we're gonna try something new, we're gonna do for EMS week, a hands-only CPR open house, like at the local school, and have invited anybody that wants to come, so we'll see if we get anybody to come.
Learn hands-only CPR in 10 minutes. How
We
many-
advertise at 10 minutes or less.
10 minutes or less. We're going to have a big screen in the corner playing an endless loop of the AHA hands-only CPR tape, which is going to drive us all crazy by the end of the evening, I think.
I think it's gonna take that long.
10 minutes? The whole evening, no. Probably, we're halfway there now.
Nothing new. Nothing new in Fulton County, Montgomery County.
All's quiet.
All's quiet. The Harry County,
Nothing to report.
Yep.
Stevens County.
We have our EMS dinner tomorrow night, and we're looking forward to having the Lindy's as the honored guests.
Oh my. It's been a long time since I've been an honored guest anywhere. Jeez.
Delaware County.
No business.
Any old business. New business.
Mr. Vice Chairman, our annual meeting is in June, and when Lou called yesterday to express his regrets at not being able to be with us today, he reminded me that we have to appoint a nominating committee, and he also wanted everybody to know that he is perfectly willing to run again for another term if the membership should so decide, and I believe that, I know that I am, and I believe Howard is too, not to put words in his mouth. I wouldn't dream of doing that. So we really need to, do we have a couple of volunteers for the nominating committee? She's not a member.
Sure.
Is that taken care of up there, way down?
Jack knows what he's doing.
I think we get stuck with it every year.
I know he does.
It's a tough one.
And by the way, I know that Joyce feels the same way, and I'm certainly not putting words in her mouth. If 31 years, I wouldn't dream of starting to do that. But we're very honored to be invited to Otsego County GMS.
I didn't know you were invited.
Yeah,
He's the end guest.
invitation was from Joyce and that other guy.
He's
You
a
know,
driver.
that's the way it's
That's right.
Choice and guess.
And yes,
That's why I was
Joyce and
stumpy earlier.
consort.
Hey.
New business.
Yeah, the only thing, just a reminder for the instructors or those who are from the county EMS offices, over the last month, I had a couple more requests for the update to the new educational standards. So if anybody still would like that, any of the instructors would still like that, let me know. I can just send it to them by email. But it seemed like some of the instructors didn't know about this, so get the word around, tell them that we have the update stuff, and if they want it, let us know.
I just have a little bit of stuff. I know when I had originally started coming out here, we were kind of, it was a tenuous position that we were in, and I kept everybody aware of it. I just am happy to report back that this week's been a very positive week for us. Our staff has been brought into term appointments. The college has given us permission to actually hire another full-timer. Enrollment's up, enrollment's steady. We're looking at running an AEMT class probably towards either the late fall or spring, summer of next year. Ideally, we're going to wait until the state comes out with protocols and then follow from there. And we broke ground yesterday on a 10-room simulation lab setting. So we're hoping that that'll be completed by the time classes start in the fall, and we'd like to seriously open it up to the community and our region to be able to have you guys come in, rent the space, to be able to use it for training and development from there. So a lot of good stuff going on. So I just want to keep you updated. We feel a whole lot more secure where we are now than when we were when we started, so it's a really good thing.
Excellent.
How is your class progressing right now, Howard? You got a class in progress right now, right?
We started with 27, 26 of them made it to field clinical, so they're out in internship right now, and they'll come back in for a practical skills exam in early August.
Great.
So, yeah. And we ran a Saturday EMT class that was just a trial thing. Actually, we got a lot of people interested. I was surprised. We had 30 enrolled in it to start. We lost about a third of it because some of those, it was set up so it was a dual. You could come in from the community, take it not for credit, or you could take it as a credit student if you're on campus. I think some of the students on campus saw it as a potential easy 4-credit class on a Saturday, took it for about 3 or 4 weeks and went, whoa. And turned around and decided that their Saturday morning at 9 a.m. was probably not a good time for a college student to take the class. But the group that was in did very well. Everybody made it through their PSEs, and they're testing next week. Next Thursday, I think, is the written.
Yeah.
So,
23rd, yeah.
that's great.
You know, the new business.
Did we have any regional nominations for state awards?
We have not received any.
The deadline is still June 1st
June 1st.
To the state.
to the state.
If you receive any, do you need a kind of a executive authority to review and send them on, since we won't have a meeting between now and June 1st?
I can contact Lou and Howard. Sure. If that's agreeable to the membership, is that okay with everybody? Are we good with that?
New business.
I'd like to announce that there's going to be a wilderness EMT course being held at the end of September in Silver Bay on Lake George. So if anybody's interested or have people are interested in taking the wilderness EMT upgrade, it's 45 hours, which will count for their elective section of the EMT refresher. We'll take care of that. So, you know.
I'm just going to ask you, Rich, was there some kind of a concession as far as the hours that they take for a regular EMT?
Sorry?
There is a concession then to regular EMT hours.
Yes, it's for the elective hours.
Okay, good. We have a fellow up our way who took the wilderness EMT course last year. And he told me that he was told the state didn't recognize it at all.
Well, that's why people go to CIC there, but I'll be there.
I don't know if you're talking about the same thing. Are you talking about the research?
EMT upgrade. Yeah, EMT upgrade. The refresher. You have to be an EMT first.
Any other new business? Need a motion to adjourn.
Go for it, Howard. 27.
27.
We had the lucky square,
Very good.
27. We had the lucky square.
I didn't like you scored 20.
We next meet on June the 20th, folks. Hey, Howard, would you mind turning